We're going to talk about a very common question. It's one that I see almost every day in my private practice. And the question is, why did my spouse choose the affair partner that they did? Let me stress to you that there's no one way that I could ever address why your mate chose the affair partner that they did. Please don't assume that you know your mate's motivations. I promise you, you'll almost always, at least in part, be wrong, because it's impossible to pinpoint another person's motivations or their intentions. So what is it about the woman or that man that could cause someone to risk it all? Is it intentional or is it just by chance? This topic could take a whole book, but hopefully I can help shed a little bit of light on that subject. There's several different reasons, and the first one is we call it the missing 20%. No one can completely meet all of your needs or all of their needs. It simply isn't true that one person could do that. A spouse could meet 80% of anyone's needs. The AP might meet another 20%. And it seems so crazy that they might risk losing everything for 20%. But what we do know is that 2/3 of all marital problems are of a perpetual or an unsolvable kind. The other third is solvable and you just move right along through it, you solve it and you move on. So that's a big majority of the issues that every couple deals with. It's crazy to think that they would still risk losing everything because of these perpetual problems that everybody has to deal with. Even they will have to deal with those problems if they were with their affair partner. The second reason that people choose the affair partner they do is because of what we call seduction. And many of you will not like hearing this, but at times the affair partner, or what we call serial affair partners, constantly are trolling and casting for their next affair partner. They're looking for that lonely heart that's going to take that bite when they cast. And it's no excuse. If your spouse is by nature insecure or lonely, they are vulnerable to this type of person. It's no excuse for it, but that's exactly what happens. The person who takes this kind of bait, it's important to remember that they're not a victim. They're a volunteer. They signed up for that because they chose to take this wound or their loneliness to the person for the way that made them feel. My really good friend and fellow therapist, Leslie Hardy, she's the author of Harboring Hope, and she says that if you meet someone who knows how to say just the right thing at just the right time in just the right way, run away as fast as you can, because someone that slick has had a lot of practice. The third is past history. Many affair partners are chosen because of the history that they have together. We have formed these attachments in previous relationships prior to marriage, and they still exist at some level. The reason that relationship went by the wayside long ago because of a broken heart or because of extensive arguing are long forgotten. And the sentiment and the nostalgia of those feelings associated with days gone by make having this type of affair really simple and easy. So past history is another reason why people choose the affair partners that they did. Another reason why people choose the affair partners that they do is because of this excessive time that they spend together, especially in these workplace environments. Many affair partners are chosen because the attachments that are created due to the excessive time that they spend together. And it's almost to the exclusion of their family or their spouse. Another place that this happens, not just in the work environment, but I see it in online gaming, shared projects, serving together at church, recreational sports. They can all drive your spouse to choose to have an affair with a person that's involved with these kind of activities. When time spent with another one exceeds the time spent with the family or with the spouse, choosing to connect with this type of individual seems natural to them. Again, it seems crazy, but they're not thinking in their right mind, and they've attached to this person. Another reason why your spouse may have chosen the affair partner that they did is because of this authority abuse. We see this as well. It's because mentors, pastors, teachers, I'm sorry to say even therapists sometimes, that have authority over them are chosen in this kind of scenario. It's the respect and the trust that is placed in this individual, as well as the hope generated by what they represent, causes the potential affair partner to overvalue the relationship, and an attachment is then created. The magical thinking on this authority figure's part allows them to distort their mentee's respect and admiration through abuse of their role as an authority figure. They take advantage of their mentee.
I hate to interrupt this powerful video, but I promise it's worth it. I want to take a quick break to share something really special. If you're feeling lost and overwhelmed, you can connect with an intake specialist at Affair Recovery for free. These are individuals who have walked this path themselves. They can offer support and guidance and hope. Please click the link in the description to schedule your free consultation.
The next way or reason why your spouse has possibly chosen the affair partner that they did is because trauma bonds can form. Past abuse can also drive them to choose the affair partner that they do. If there's unprocessed abuse in your spouse's past, and they can be vulnerable to someone who treats them or triggers them in the same way that their original perpetrator did. This type of affair partner is particularly confusing for the betrayed spouse because they can see it happening in a way and it makes no sense to their mate. Why would you hook up with or be with someone that's abusive? But in reality, that trauma bond compels them to choose someone with whom they can reenact the abuse, many times by hoping that it can heal, at least subconsciously, but sometimes it's even a conscious thought. Another reason why your spouse may have chosen the affair partner that they did, we call it envy and magical thinking. Some choose their affair partner out of envy, and they are drawn to the characteristics in that person that they're jealous of or they envy. Magical thinking causes them to believe that somehow connecting with that person allows them to possess those qualities. They tell themselves that by being with that person, somehow it soothes the places where they feel inadequate or insecure. They think that the affair partner is going to make them a better person. Another reason why they choose the affair partner that they do is because misery loves company. If a husband or a wife begins commiserating with the affair partner about how miserable their marriage is, the validation that they receive from each other by telling the other person how miserable they are or lonely they are or abused they are, it creates this bond between them for an affair. What's sad about this process is it causes them both to focus on the negative aspects or qualities of the marriage in order to justify and validate their reasons for having an affair in the first place. It's all too common reason why people choose the affair partners that they do. Another reason why is that there's a willing partner. Some individuals, as a result of sexual addiction or because they've given themselves permission to stray or think they're entitled to it, or for whatever reason, they're looking for anyone that's willing to have an affair. And once they locate someone that's willing to interact, have conversations, even flirty or inappropriate ones, that person becomes the affair partner. The qualities they're looking for determine who that might be. For instance, if they just want to have sex, they hook up with someone who also wants to avoid attachments. And many relationships that are created on websites or dating apps fall into this kind of category. And the last reason that I'm going to talk about today is a midlife crisis. And a lot of people blame it on this, especially if you're in your 40s and 50s when it happens. But those in midlife crisis typically choose an affair partner that can help them feel young again. They're likely to choose someone who's 20 years younger than they are and is willing to be with an older man and even an older woman. It's the youth and beauty of that person that makes them feel young again. And we live in such a youth and beauty-driven culture that it's surrounded by every single one of us. But that drives their choice to choose possibly the affair partner that they did. So this is not an exhaustive list, but hopefully it provides some understanding, even if it seems a little bit crazy, for the reasons why they choose what they do, for what drives them to the choices that they make. If you are a betrayed spouse and want help in your recovery after infidelity, we'd like you to consider looking at Harboring Hope. It's one of our online courses. Through that, we will walk you through a process that is good, sound information. And it has lots of love and support from us and from the community that you will develop and be a part of.